The individuals out there who are actually, the poor, the working poor, minorities, and I'm talking about black people, I'm talking about Hispanics, poor whites, the working poor, and also minorities like women, single moms out there in this country. They are negatively impacted when the dollar is weak and it can't buy as much. Food prices skyrocketing. The cost of everything skyrocketing. Have you been to the gas pump lately and seen how much fun it is to fill up your tank? Now, that is all courtesy of those who are controlling your government right now. Those individuals we call socialist Democrats. These individuals who, through monetary policy, what do they always tell us? Elections have consequences. And they do, my friends. When you elect socialist Democrats, you elect a whole bunch of people who are just like those totalitarians in communist China. Who do they think about first? Themselves. Who do they think about first in communist Cuba? Themselves. It's all about the elected leaders, not about the people. Trish Regan joining me right now. I just went on a rant because I didn't want to lose our time together. So first off, I want you to comment, if you will, on the two big stories. Socialist Democrats leaving Texas, comparing election integrity laws to Jim Crow laws. What's your take on that?
So I think it's pretty despicable. I don't think there's any other way to describe this. I mean, I don't know if you've got the pictures. Apparently some media reports showed a case of beer in the background. No masks, by the way, on an airline flight. Look, I find it truly, utterly despicable because to me, Chris, it's pretty simple, right? Voters elected you to do a job. It's your job to see this through. And you may not like it, but the answer is you don't flee town. You're not leaving on a jet plane, right? Literally. I mean, they chartered 2 planes. I mean, the whole idea of this is completely unthinkable to me because it's just so, frankly, anti-American. Americans believe in actually doing our work, unless, of course, you're this team. So I think it's pretty, again, I would use the word despicable because I'm not sure quite how else to describe this. The other thing I'd say as far as Jim Crow rhetoric, Chris, I mean, this is such loaded, dangerous rhetoric. And by the way, it's completely insulting to the history of the United States, including the entire African-American population that may have had ancestors that were part of that, right? I mean, you're equating modern day the United States of America with what happened in times of slavery. And I'm sorry, but it's just not at all comparable at all.
No,
and to
no,
suggest
but
today,
let's
living through times that are similar
Trish,
to Jim Crow. I'm sorry, no. We're just asking. Conservatives are asking that people show an ID, like you would do to get into a building in any big city.
And transparency, that's what we're looking for. And don't forget, these socialist Democrats, they ought to know Jim Crow because it was their party who authored Jim Crow. And these laws that are in place in Georgia, in place in Texas, they look nothing like the Democrat socialist Jim Crow laws. Other thing I wanted to hit with you was the consumer price index, as you well know, hit a record high this week, reaching over 5%. And for those who don't follow economics like you do, just take our word for it. It's a lot. Now, you tweeted this graph, eye-opening graph yesterday. Biden wants to spend even more, making our dollar worth even less. Socialist Democrats are harming those they claim they want to help. And, of course, that's the working poor and minorities out there.
Look, I mean, they talk about how they want to help middle-class Americans. If you want to help middle-class Americans, you help middle-class Americans to get back to work and have affordable prices, right, so that they can have a decent standard of living. Right now, that standard of living is becoming increasingly unattainable because this government, this Biden administration, combined, by the way, with some not so smart, really, people at the Federal Reserve that believe you can just print dollars forever, you combine those two things together and what you wind up doing, and we saw it, by the way, in the Biden-Obama years, you actually create a more difficult environment for very everyday Americans because the cost of diapers, Bloomberg had a great report on this the other day, which we also published on trishintel.com. The cost of diapers is like double for less diapers nowadays than it was last year. I mean, who gets hit by that? Chris, it's not people that can afford it. It's the people that can't afford it. And their answer is to just give out $300 a kid for everyone. I'm sorry, that's not the solution. The solution is to provide people with the American dream, opportunity, so that they can go back to work and they can achieve what they want to achieve, not to live off of handouts like Cubans and Venezuelans do. We see how that ends.
Yep. Bravo. Trish Regan, always a pleasure to talk with you, lady. Talk to you next week.
Hey, I'm Rob Finnerty. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please join the conversation in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe, too. Hit the bell icon to be alerted to breaking news. And remember, there's a whole lot more on Newsmax TV, America's fastest growing cable news network. Newsmax TV, where real news for real people.